Well, hello. If you so want, we could now do something which actually is not allowed during a presentation. I'd like to ask you to all now use your smartphone. We can have a look. And together with you, I'd like to get started with a small inquiry, a survey. And can you please now use your mobile phones? Deactivate flight mode and open the browser and use menti.com, and there please enter the code 818835. You're all there? Okay. I'll give you some context. The question concerns the Sächsische Zeitung, one of 300 German dailies published around Dresden with 200,000 printer and 20 local papers. And the question is, I'd like to know please estimate how old our new subscriber is on an average. The one opting for a print version. Okay, looks nice. 64 also. Can you make the 70? At 70. Okay, thank you very much. So we keep remembering this. 25, say 46 to 50 of age. And now there's the second question. In which age group do we have the most print subscribers? Again, 70 is the benchmark. Where are the users of just before? Here again, this shows us what we can remember. And the mobile you can keep because there is a third question. And the solution now comes from Vetterick, editor-in-chief of Sächsische Zeitung. Thanks for having been on board, for being so open-minded. Thanks for your optimism. I'm now showing to you a chart which shows you the age of the subscribers of our papers. As a matter of fact, it's similar to what you have just used, 25 to 23 and so on. We call this internally the chart of silence. It's called the chart of silence because when we showed it for the first time, all of a sudden everyone was so silent. This is the truth. More than 40% of our readers are older than 75. So almost half of the readers of our papers are approaching the 50, the 80 or the 90. The average age of those newly subscribing to the paper is 64. Probably with your subscribers that's clearly better, but this is our situation. Is that a hopeless case? No, it isn't. There is, of course, another average, and this shows you how old our online users are. You see, the online users are 35 to 44, and there are two key messages here. The good one is we have basically no print range problem. With our local stories we still reach the young and the old, but we have a very clear monetizing problem, because our money we earn here right on top where you see the paper. That is where our subscribers are. People paying what we are doing now, people who are loyal, people whom we will have for another few years, but we see that this is, demographically speaking, not a never-ending story. So this is why in Dresden we took a decision recently, which you might also have taken in your editorial reports already, because here you say that we go down from old and print to young and digital. You see that the one which are digital and which are clicking, they are subscribers and they should become subscribers. And this means that we had the portal, a more or less free portal, which we have changed to paid. That's a fascinating process, also a nice one, because you clearly see successes, but this isn't our very topic today. Here there are so many of you, we have to learn. And the question is, how can we also use this without saying goodbye to those up here? That's the group which is paid here, and we see that all this transformation has to be filtered somehow, and how very much we need this. So how can the young online users be made subscribers without losing the old ones? And this with the same team, which probably will rather be smaller. This is what we are speaking about. We see here our colleagues and I. This is our key challenge here, which we have. And now you can use your mobiles, Menti, otherwise it's menti.com. You see the code here once again. And the question we are having now is, what would you believe how many local stories of the paper actually work online? And what I mean by that is they generate stories which actually exist and are called and read. So how much actually also works online? There are only experts here in the room. It's actually some 20%. So in several of our local sections we have counted this for many years, and about 20% are responsible for some 80% of our traffic. That's maybe strange, but you see that this rule also can be used here. And you see that they do have the potential of users of digital subscribers, because you see that a large number makes it possible for us to communicate with the people somehow. And this is also the key challenge already, because the question is, can we make it? It's also a perspective with these 20% to actually be online and to make a paper. So only with online and you see here Paul Print lives in one of our small cities around Dresden. Paul Printer is our subscriber, has been for many years, and in those decades Paul Print's local cosm has changed. When he subscribed, he was still in the city. Now he goes to Dresden immediately. When he subscribed, he went to the office in his town. Passport, car registration. Today he has to go quite far away. Today you see so many in a wider district. When he subscribed, he went to the doctor in his village. Today there are many of these general practice and general hospitals which do not exist any longer. Sometimes he has to go until the University Clinic of Dresden. Cinema, theater, even churches are not online any longer, and quite often actually they have to be done by car. So this can be criticized, but it's a fact that the life world of our readers in the local section has completely changed. Much bigger even. And that's also an interesting insight, larger than what we have in our local section, and much wider also in our local sections. We have more than 20 local sections. Now you can wonder, what about online first? What about the 2080? What about local sections? What about what happens before the start of print? And that in such a way that Paul Print likes reading in his paper. And here we have Thomas Milke, our colleague. He's one of our local bosses with two conventional towns, Löwe and Zitter. And we have chosen these as our pilot what online first. And maybe Thomas, you can tell us what your idea was when you started with online first in your cities. Well, we focus on the topics which are of relevance to many people, interesting to many. That's where we start, and that's what we focus on. That is the 20%, yes, the 20 mentioned by you already. What topics are they? After the first insight, so for 5 months, we have been online first. What topics are they? Well, we have found a formula which is 3E. Emotional, exclusive, excellent. These are particularly stories about people, but also related to towns, local politics, not so much Blaulicht, meaning crime or accidents, and the other topics are more or less not dealt with by us any longer. Yes, and this also comes back to what Yannick has said. You go into some types and you emotionalize people. Can you still fill a classical local section with these? Well, Zittau is not Berlin. More than 3 emotionalizing stories per day can't be found on the countryside, not even a star reporter. So certainly we cannot fill a local section better. What have you done? Because nothing can stay white in our paper. So what was our idea? We saw the extended life cousin and we said we exactly follow him or her. Our idea, we take the 20% of stories which go well online and which function well and pack them together into a new common local part. So you've used two in order to make one. And we were afraid that it might go wrong. Yes, we as well. And someone having been a subscriber for so many years all of a sudden might not find it good. And the staff not either. So maybe you can tell us how you have securitized this in this process. Well, we were very much afraid that the print readers would all leave us if we focus on online only, and this is why we have had a very good analysis of our rating. Who knows the Lesewert-Methode, the reader rating method? Maybe you can explain what that is? Some of you might know reader scan, and Lesewert is more or less the same as reader scan. We give those pens to some readers of the paper like a text marker, and they read the paper during breakfast or wherever, and they then show us where they step out, and then there is a scan, and this scan sends us the text line, and on the server we can then see what they have read and what has been interesting to them. And then the reading and reader assessment has two components. First, it's this visual value, meaning how people interact with the text at all, and then the read-through value, meaning when do they step out of a text. Unfortunately, very often it's not the last line of an article which is scanned. And then we have accompanied the process, and Thomas, how could we help you? Well, first we could see all of that more or less in live, in real time, exactly what the readers found good or maybe not so good. And then in a first step we had measured how the readers of the one local part measure their part and how the readers of the other one read theirs in terms of the second edition, and that was the basis. And Ludwig explains what the base value is. Yes, we had a benchmark in the first issue, and we knew that both editions could not be below this value, what was a big challenge already. So 20%, for instance, for a local news section, that's very good already. Then in a second step, we analyzed the local sections. We put them together, meaning local section 1, local section 2, and we joined these into one by merging those 20% online stories, which gave us 80% of page rank. And then we analyzed the reactions of readers of local section 1 versus local section 2 as to the new joint local section, and Ludwig tells us how they reacted. Yes, of course, we've tried to keep those values stable, but we were surprised and happy to see that the reading values could even be stepped up, even 10% for Löbau, meaning that the common joint local section is used much better. So our Paul print is happier and spends even more time with his paper with that merged local section. Then there was the transformation. Indeed, in November we changed, and since November we have been working online first, meaning we produce directly into the web. We don't do anything for the paper anymore, and at the end of the day, in the evening, our content which we have produced for online is then transformed into our local section. And we've double-checked this as well in order to see how Paul Print and the Abbas Office Age cohort like this. Here again, the reading value was stepped up even, so what is now printed in the bigger joint local section is even better. So online works even better in the local print section. And from my perspective, the key message is you want it online first, and at the end you even had a better paper. And that's what we had. Thank you very much. Since paid and subscription models have been addressed, we are not that far yet, but Thomas' team, the pilot editorial board at Löbau Zittau, certainly have sold the highest number of online subscriptions. So on a mobile you can certainly make headway, and PowerPrint keeps reading and, even more important, keeps